Hey, it's JC1424 once again with another race recap for the 2018 Core League season. This is race 9 at Homestead-Miami Speedway for the Tasmanian Devil 400. Love me some Looney Tunes. Qualified 5th place of this race, just like ISM, but had a lot more confidence because I've always really loved this track and find it to be a specialty of mine. Ed got a little loose in a turn 1. I tried checking up, I started getting up the gas, but just like that, we start the race, big old freaking wreck as they go into turn 1. Took a look at it behind me, see how bad it was, and there's cars spinning into the inside wall, the outside wall, everybody's dead on the first lap, and caution came out. I was beginning to wonder if it was actually going to happen, which would be ridiculous if it didn't, but because the race just started, I decided to go take a pit stop so I could get all my adjustments, and then not only that, but this could help me have a better fuel run. I was betting on this not being the first caution right at the beginning of the race, just considering how that turned out, because you can get loose rather easily at restarts at this track. So now we're on the outside because Ed decided to stay out so he can get on his ground back, and then Cody H Gaming wanted to stay out so he get some lap sled and whatever. I wasn't trying to go 3 wide right here, but Ed went up high, and then I'm trying not to drive into his quarter panel, and then before anything else can become of it, another caution happens. I pitted that one as well because, once again, I'm trying to make this the best fuel run for me possible towards the end of the race, and a lot of people did that, so I didn't lose too much ground. So we come to this restart in 7th place. Rusty Walrus is not having the best of restarts right here. So, I'm checking up, and I don't know what's going on. He's getting a little loose, I can tell, so I'm just driving underneath him. Hopefully he doesn't fall back to the field and cause a big wreck. But if you watch the mirror right here, I think he goes up top, and it kind of stacks up the outside lane a little bit. Not until turn 3, supposedly. But, yeah, so we're running 6th place, and see these guys that are in front of us right now: Cody H Gaming, Joseph Lombard, Dale Reynolds, What If Racing, and Ed Sounded. We're all the guys that ran up here all race long, and until a few of us got eliminated. But I'll show you guys the first few laps of Green Flag Racing. Took a conservative entry for turn 1, dove underneath Cody H Gaming, and he really hung on to the draft really well for like the first few laps of the race. So just sit in that middle lane down the back straightaway. I've got a lot of practice of this track. I'm racing the Snickers Almond paint scheme, the only Snickers paint scheme that Kyle Busch has in this game, and I totally wanted to give this an opportunity because there were some that I didn't realize that I hadn't gotten yet, and I went to PlayStation Store and added this one to it. Well, for the next few laps, I kind of just ran behind these 4 guys, just waiting for a moment to get a good run on somebody, and Ed, I think he got tight and hit the wall off the corner, so we passed him for 4th place. Let off a little early, just like always. A good dive into turn 3, and now I'm making it 3 wide on Dale Reynolds and Joseph Lombard. I got to keep it at the bottom. I'm trying not to get loose, and I made a little contact with Dale. That could have been much worse, but I wanted to really finish the deal going to turn right here if I could, so let off really early because I'm at the bottom. Dale checks up for me. Car tries to kick out the back end a little bit, and usually whenever it does that, it's best for me to just stop steering, or sometimes I have to turn to the right to keep it from actually losing control. But yeah, they got us in 3rd place, trying to make a move on into SC4R right here, Joseph Lombard. He got tight coming off of turn 4 and got a good dive into the corner, so really helped me get my first attempt to actually make this pass, and I was going to go ahead and try to clear him going to turn 1 right here. And because I already let off the gas, it allowed me to complete it just like that. And I spent the next couple laps trying to catch up to What If Racing and get an opportunity to take the lead if I could. But man, What If Racing was just the guy to beat in this race. I found a really difficult time passing him. This was the closest I got to taking the lead in this entire race, which sucks. Because, like, if I had just gotten a better run off turn 4, maybe if I drove up into him, which was something I would never do, then I could have led that lap. But then Ed comes sitting in underneath me, and I wasn't expecting it at all. I was just, kind of racing my own line, but bumped me up the track and sent me out of the groove. And I gotta tell you, Ed was the most difficult guy to race with all race long. He's a great racer, but man, I had troubles with him multiple times in this race. And he got tight off of turn 4, and Joseph was right behind him, so that eliminated Joseph from this pack right here. And Cody H Gaming, like I said, still hanging on to the top 5. I'm running 3rd place, but after a long time of just, sitting 3rd, 4th, racing with Ed, I finally decided to take a pit stop on lap 36, which is a bad idea, meaning that whenever I come out, there would be 31 laps to go. And apparently, I was thinking, if it's 30 laps, I could conserve 1 lap, and you'll find out that later on this race, that didn't actually play out for me the best that it probably could. So, got into pit road like 43 miles an hour. What sucks is estimated pit time is 16 seconds, but go ahead and get a good look at this paint scheme if you want to. Love this car with the creamy, mixture color with the white and the blue and red and the brown for Snickers. And some people say they hate this paint scheme. I like this one. I just like the colors and nice pattern. I was one of, I think, a few people. I don't know how many people actually did this, but we were told in practice that we had to exit pit road like this. And then when they had the drivers meeting, a bunch of people started just, getting onto the track just like that. But after pit stops, got a good run off of turn 3 at one point. I was trying to pass Ed Soundhead, and for a second, I thought I was actually going to be able to complete this pass, and there's Dale running second place. What If Racing got a great exit from pit road, and he, I guess, had one of the fastest pit stops. Tried completing a pass on Ed, but I was trying to avoid the apron, so I understeered the corner a little bit to get off of it, and then just there wasn't enough room to pass. And I had a really hard time passing people like What If Racing, Ed Soundhead, because they keep it on the throttle when they're in that middle lane. But several laps later, as I'm trying to conserve fuel and failing miserably, that caution comes out, and it puts everything back together again. And then I'm in 4th place at the restarts. I'm like, okay, so we can refuel the car, get fresher tires, and hopefully I can be really fast at this restart. Got Eric back in the fight again, Brendan right there behind us, and I think Rawgator, his teammate, right next to him. And this is what ruined it all for me. The car got loose. We hit Eric. That shot me into the wall, and I didn't wreck anybody at all. I mean, I could have wrecked Eric right there. I wasn't trying to. It's just, it whipped out from underneath me, and it was such a surprise, and that was it. And I thought it was truly over at this point, but of course, they all start wrecking because it's, last-minute restarts. Everyone's trying to get everything they can before it's all over, and yeah, we had to deal with this a couple times. I was like, oh, maybe it's not still over yet, but, passing all these cars at a restart would be very difficult. We come to this restart behind Iceberg, who just didn't get going. So I'm like, okay, we'll get out from behind him. And he starts going up the track and gives me a lane. And then someone bumped into me on the inside, and I don't know, how that happened or whatever, but that sent Iceberg into the wall. And I don't know what Iceberg was doing. He was slow at that restart, but then he started getting out of the way. I was just kind of squeezing my way in there because I don't know where else to go. I'm not really moving over or anything. And we give it a 3rd attempt at a green-white checker at the end of the race. Same old 2 laps to go, and this was the one where we actually made it this time. Coming to that restart in 11th place, kind of riding Rawgator's bumper. Someone on the outside just freaking died, like me. I was in the exact same situation. Rawgator got sent down to the bottom, so I'm taking the middle. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going to settle for a 10th place finish after running 4th, 3rd, and 2nd all race long. I can't give up now. Back end started sticking out, and on Brendan's end, it was like I was almost driving up into the wall. They're 3 wide down there. I'm like, fuck it. Just fuck it. Can't give in now. If I have an opportunity to get back to at least 6th, we're going to do it. They're still 3 wide down there because Cody H Gaming got knocked off the track, but I tried, but I should have stayed up as high as possible. It's just running high in turns 1 and 2 is usually not as easy as 3 and 4. So we're still back in 9th place. I'm trying to get a position on Rawgator without running him over into turn 3. Be patient. Take that conservative entry so I get a good run off. And he's sending high off the corner. We got Ed and What If Racing bouncing off each other off of turn 4. But What If Racing goes back-to-back getting his 3rd win of the season. We take it home in 9th place. I'm not saying that I just flat-out don't want to win a race. But if there's one thing that I want the most right now, it's just to get a top 5. I'm kind of limiting my standards, but I am racing for the win every race and practicing really hard and preparing myself for every Friday night. But, man, it's just, I do something wrong in every race. I make some mistake, or some things are just out of my control. If that restart hadn't happened, I probably would have finished 6th because I was running low on fuel. But, it's just, I got loose, and I didn't see it coming. I should have been more prepared. And, oh, golly. To be honest, it's just bad luck. I mean, I get it, I'm making mistakes, and anybody can make these mistakes, but the fact that I always do, come on. Black Flags Matter, you do it, man, go ahead. Bad season, you can just highlight every freaking video this season. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Oh, it's you see me as JC's finally gonna get a top 5. Never mind, he got loose at that restart and threw it all away. At Watkins Glen, I should be capable of finishing in the top 5, or at least right outside of it. But man, I'm not the kind of guy that should be finishing 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th every freaking race. That's not me. And I've proven that I'm, one of those kind of racers that can run top 5, or I'm, in that range. It's just, I have such bad luck. And this is not even just lead racing and all this stuff. This is online racing in general. I have the worst luck. I could start up pole and then get dive bombed the guy behind me in a public lobby. I could start 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place, and I always get wrecked in the first corner if there's any wreck in the first corner. So it's sad that this is carrying on in core in some way, shape, or form. See you next time. That's that. And race recap over.